And then that would be, or Megan?
It looks like Megan's off and Movette has a conflict, so you
Okay.
all get me.
Yay.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. So then I think we can get going. Okay. Um, welcome everybody. Shall we start with meeting minutes approval from last time? I think it all looked good to me. Any issues, any questions anyone has on that? Do we have enough people to take a vote on this?
So I think, and this has come up before, but I think we just need half of the committee members.
Okay,
I
so
think
like,
technically half of the commissioners.
okay. And Michael can vote for Malvet, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're good. Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor of approving?
Aye.
We're good. Great.
So just a quick update. Kathy D'Amato, who was the designee from the governor's office, has shifted to DECD.
Oh,
So the governor's office is in the process of confirming Tom Scanlon as the new designee. It is
Really?
not, yeah,
That's ironic. Tom helps with the governor's appointments. He's like,
I
if
know.
you guys, is that self-appointment? How does that work?
Does he write the letter to himself? That's the question.
I got a letter. It's this one here that Tom helped me get from Governor.
Me?
But
Okay.
it's from Tom. Okay.
That's hilarious. I can tell you that it was a recommendation from Matt Brockman that it be Tom. But then I'm sure Tom has to do his own paperwork, so that's great. But yes, so all that to say, it is not quite official yet. They're finishing up things on their end, but they are hoping to make it official in time to announce it at Wednesday's meeting. So I'm excited because Tom has promised that he'll come to all of our meetings and come to as many events and things as possible. So that is great.
Tom is great, so that's fantastic.
Will behave really well.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so Ariane, you saw that this was on the agenda for Wednesday, so I think as long as it's official, that's all we need to say.
I have an update on Wednesday, which is that I'm double booked. I'm administering the Long-Term Care Advisory Council. It's one of my mandates, and I won't be able to attend, sorry.
Great, good to know. I'll let Rachel know, or honestly, she'll probably watch this tomorrow morning and be updated before I remember to tell her.
Okay, so on to the affiliate program. I think, looks like Deborah, you went in. I think that it looked like pretty much all of them except for that one, the Manchester one looked good to me as well. So, I think, I mean, potentially Manchester could be okay. I think it depends on what they say, in terms of that no response. So, yeah.
Yeah, and based on their response to that question, Rachel just thinks that they answered no because their focus is on Manchester residents, not Connecticut residents. But they have not yet responded to her email asking to clarify that.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of what I figured too, but better to confirm.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
So I think, does everyone agree we can move forward with the other ones and then hold on Manchester until the next time? Okay. In terms of, so I asked Rachel to add this 3C item on here because I was getting concerned that like there were so few applications coming in, and now I feel like it's a crucial time if we want to use this list as a way that groups can kind of self-organize and see, who else is involved and collaborate within their region across the state. However, so I think we're kind of coming to a point where people will, I mean, I know lots of plans are already in place, but for anyone still looking to make plans, they're probably going to have to start doing it now, if ever. So, just wanted to see if there was, and I don't know, Cindy, if you can, like, if you have insight into what the process is. I think Rachel had said that she, had been putting lists together, but not really able to do the outreach. So I wanted to check on how we could maybe assist, whether it's drafting emails or talking points or something like to that effect. Like, is there a way that we can help? Because even I saw in some of the lists, the full email list was not really assembled, and there were like some holes here and there. So I just wanted, and I know there might be other subcommittees working on this too, so maybe it's not our place, but I figured I'd ask.
no, I think help would be really welcome. I'll say engagement is tasked with this to an extent, but they have been less active than governance has been. And I think with them, we've gotten them to do some outreach to local committees or to mayors in order to form local committees. So I think we're best off continuing that work rather than having them go in a new direction.
Yeah.
So I think any way that governance could help would be great. We have created at the very least a flyer now because we didn't have that for affiliates before. So we have that now and we've distributed it at a few different events that we've been to, and we have our grants team sharing it as they go around, but that is hitting fewer of these other groups of people. Because I think this list is really those non-museum historical society folks.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, what would be most helpful to make it easier for you all to share information?
Well, I mean, okay, so I guess the question is like, are we sharing to these lists that have been put together by Rachel, like the service groups and the sororities and fraternities, like all that? Are we going to focus on that and actually be the ones to share, or are we kind of setting it up to make it easier for Rachel to share so that it's coming from Connecticut 250? Like, what's the strategy or the best messenger?
I honestly think others would be the better messenger. I think it's easy to get an email from the 250th email or from Rachel and I and just ignore it. And we've had that happen a lot with mayors and other people we've reached out to. If anybody has connections with these places, I think that is probably easiest. And I'll say the Bar Association, we could reach out to John Weiner. He's on the CTH board. And I get the feeling he would be willing to do that outreach for us. So we could do that. But I think a lot of these other organizations, it's going to be harder for us. So I think it'd be helpful to come up with an email template, and I think either we can work on that as a group or Rachel and I can come up with the template part of it. I think that would be easy for us. I think it's more the actual outreach that we tend to get ignored on if it's coming blindly.
Okay. So should we go, like, all of us here go through and just like write our names in that column A where it says solicitor to where we would be willing to do that outreach so we all know and we don't duplicate?
Yeah, I think that would be great. And then I'll say that we could pretty easily for next Monday have a template email, because I also think we have something started. I want to be realistic and not promise anything too early, because I know tomorrow is really just going to be putting together packets for Wednesday. And Wednesday, the meeting will take up most of our time, so I think
It looks like it's a view only. I mean, at least for me, I don't know if everyone, but like I'm not able to edit. And then what I would say is if anyone, like I'll put my name in places, but then if anyone else here thinks they have a good relationship with that person or that group, to just tell me. And like I don't have to be the contact if I put my name on something. If you feel like you might have a stronger connection, or if you think it's okay to like for more than one person to reach out, we could do that too.
This is Denise, and I'm sorry I tuned in late and I'm in a car, but I'm not driving. But this sounds like a job I can take on, at least some of them. I'm not looking at the list, but obviously some of them, like the CBA I've worked with extensively. I can contact John. I just got his number the other day, so I'll just talk to him about that one. I don't know what the other groups are, but no doubt some of them I will have a relationship with. So I'm happy to do the outreach if somebody just sends me the list, and, I can start to work on it.
Yeah, sounds good, Denise.
Okay,
Go
Great.
through some of the categories briefly. That way we don't have to go through all of the organizations. We have the Restaurant Association on here.
Yeah. My suggestion is you talk to their lobbyists. The lobbyists will help us out on this. So I just have to figure out who the lobbyist is for the Restaurant Association. It's usually the same 5 or 6 people, and they will be very helpful, and they want to be helpful. I've talked to a lot of them. So I that would be my suggestion. Restaurant Association used to be a woman, but she's no longer around. I don't know who's doing that now. But that would be, if someone could help me by looking up who the lobbyist is for that particular association, it helps.
So we had on here as an idea the state hero or heroine. And I have no idea. So that was a recommendation from Margaret Kahn of the Library Association. We also have on here sororities and fraternities.
Yeah, I can definitely, I think I had provided the list of like the Divine Nine and and the Greater Hartford area.
You're talking about like the Delts and people like that, right? The Deltas, there, that's a African American Black sorority. Yeah. I had a lot of contact in that group. I can find them. Do they have a contact? Do they list a contact?
So I know that Kristen Clark is normally the person I work with.
Oh, yeah.
Who she works at the Village, but she does a lot of their events and stuff. But then we also had the president there, um her email. So I have pretty much all the president emails
Oh, great.
listed, so you can like definitely just access that, or
Okay.
if there's any that you'd prefer that I reach out to, I could do too. So just let me know. But I think any that you can do, you'll have more it'll have more impact than me.
Okay. Is the
I'll see.
idea that I would send emails to all these people? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
And Rachel and I will put together the template for an email. And then it's just sending it out. And then, I mean, any follow-up we can do, whether it's through you, Denise, or Ariane, if you speak with people at some point, just mentioning it, I think that would be helpful as well.
Yeah, and if you have that handout you said you had
Mhm.
created, if there's a PDF version of that.
Sorry, I'm out in the hinterlands of Eastern Connecticut. So I lost you there for a while.
Oh. Um,
I'll get back in touch with you guys once I get somewhere that's better. But I'm happy to take on whatever I can. And I don't know if what you have in mind is an email to these folks or just a phone call or what we have in mind here, but I'm happy to try.
Yes, an email. Uh, That's okay. I'll connect with her later.
okay.
But yeah, I will find the
Yeah.
flyer and get it over to everybody here as a PDF.
Yeah. Because I'm also I don't know, I have to ask the secretary if it would be something we can put on our Civics 101 website where we have like all of our other handouts that people can then just easily download and take. Since it's not like ours, I don't know if that's okay or not, but I can check.
Yeah.
But either way, we can print them out and have them at, events where we are.
That would be great.
Okay.
I had a list. It says service organizations on here, and that's one area I don't think we ever started to make a list. I'm not sure what was meant by that.
I think it's like Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, like all of those types.
Yeah,
We definitely have good connections with the Rotary. And the president for Connecticut. And the secretary has spoken at few of their meetings around the state over the past couple of years. I can look into other contacts too, but I think the president will be best and she can send out to everyone.
and then the VFW and Veterans Committees, we had a great conversation with Christine Pitsley. The American Legion and VFW are going to be working together on some statewide initiatives, and they already asked us about their becoming affiliates, and we said, of course, that's a great idea, and sent them the information. We can continue to follow up with them, but I think that is in progress. Um. And then libraries, I don't know, Deborah, if that's better coming from you or from Margaret, from both.
My guess is let's check with Margaret first because she has probably more access to more lists than I do. But if she's not able to, I can certainly send it out to our contacts. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's helpful to understand. And then universities was the last kind of category.
Yeah, I have all of them. I can send out to all of them.
I think it says here plans to set up a call. I also think if you think it would be more helpful to set up a call and have us share what the commission, we have anywhere from a 10 to like a 30-minute presentation, depending on how long or short. So we can also share what we've got planned, what we're working on, where we are with things, and then talk about the affiliate program as part of that. I think either way is fine. And I don't know if there's one that you think would be more successful than the other.
Did anyone mention the League of Women Voters?
No.
That's a really good group. They're not as extensive as they used to be, but there is a statewide organization. I think it's still headquartered in Hamden. I have a great relationship with them. I should probably get in touch with them.
Yeah, they have 3 presidents now that are sharing the role.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
It's like
Not a good sign.
Joanne Moore.
Yeah.
I think Tisha
Yeah.
Raji on the policy side, and Peggy is in New Britain. So,
Oh, that's right. Peggy's back on that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll call Peggy.
Okay.
Peggy can make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
And I'm sorry, I think I lost you for a minute when we were talking about universities, but I like the idea of a call, and maybe we could do a joint call where like we could talk about some of our office initiatives, maybe like National Voter Registration Day planning, which is in September, but we like to get the ball rolling now, get people thinking about it now, and then we could also have the another half be 250, and then this way people could also ask like you guys questions directly. So I know we've mentioned it, but it'd be great, I think, to do more of like a presentation like that.
Like I said, we are always happy to do, whether my favorite is the 10-minute version, because I think we can get everything into 10 minutes and be pretty succinct and clear about what the goals are. So always happy to do that with any of these groups or any other groups. We've been talking with John
Yeah,
about possibly doing it with some folks in the disability community to get tips and ideas for how we can make things that we're hosting more accessible. But like I said, that's always an easy way to, so I feel like the website has a lot on it. So sometimes it's easier to just say, these are 3 or 4 big things.
Yeah. And even like, I know I sat in at your conference, I sat in on the universities segment, and you have some good, like kind of like case studies, some examples to give to them of things that are already, programs that have already been done or things in the works. So
Yeah, I wish we'd been able to record all the breakouts because I think there was a lot of really great information. And we weren't. So I have no idea what happened during that session, but I'm excited to hear there were some good examples shared.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about one, maybe there could be one statewide call that you could just tell everybody to tune into. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do. And I was just thinking in terms of if I were up at the legislature and talking to the straight ahead, and I was talking to the lobbyists, who I think are really a good source for getting to people. That I could give them the date and time of something they could tune into. I think that would be really easy to do.
That's a good idea. I mean, I think with if we were doing the universities, we would probably want to do them as one segment. But
Yep.
I also like that idea of maybe having just something like a call available for anyone else or for everyone. And,
Yeah.
it could also
Yeah.
be university, like everyone.
Agree wholeheartedly. I think a call is easy to do. I think sometimes it's easier to meet people in a meeting that they're already attending, than get them to go to something extra. But if we think that, Denise, do you want to find out from folks what time would probably work for a lot of people? I think that is,
Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I think it would be probably sometime in the evening, only because, everything is so chaotic at the moment at the legislature. And so these associations are all scrambling to get their bills done, to, get people's attention. So I can't imagine, maybe even if we could get some of the lobbyists to tune in, they could get the information and pass it along. They love being information people because that kind of enhances their, what they're doing for folks. Like, take the restaurant association. If I can figure out who their lobbyist is, if it's Billy Malitsky, for example, I can just go to Billy and say, look, these guys want to be helpful. They're all quite excited about it. Don't forget, they're all like kind of policy nerds in their own way. So I just think that's kind of an easy way you could hit a lot of folks at the same time, because many of them have multiple clients. So that's just a thought. And that would be, they're working all day right now, but not to say they can't tune into a call, just, maybe even an early in the morning call for that matter. Maybe 8 or 9 in the morning before things really get going.
Yeah.
either is fine. I'm happy to do whether it's, I'll be honest and say I'm probably better at 6 p.m. than 8 a.m., but I'll do whichever one works.
I think,
Whichever one we think will get more people.
yeah. All right. Let me think about it. You know what? I'll go up to the legislature maybe Wednesday. I think they're probably in session this time of year. Wednesdays are pretty good to hit people up. So, I mean, it'd be after our meeting, because we're meeting in Waterbury, 10 to noon, on Wednesday. But I could just go up and see how people feel about it. But I'll call around a little bit and see what people think.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.
Okie doke. I got to sign off now because it's getting complicated here. I have to give someone directions. Well, I'll
Great,
call
Denise.
back in. Thanks.
See you later.
So referencing I'm sorry, we should stay, I don't want to change subjects. Anything else on the outreach side?
Not specifically outreach, but we need to technically vote on the new affiliates.
I was going to say that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
My only reflection on the outreach would be to touch base with Megan and Milvet on Wednesday, even if it's a sidebar, because I do recall from a meeting in one of the committee rooms we had in the last month or two, they both had connections or interest in following up on that particular aspect. So just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Megan was specifically Phi Alpha Theta, if I remember correctly.
He
But
also has an event with restaurants coming up that we're participating in.
Wait, who does? I'm sorry.
Megan.
Okay.
So she may have contacts at the Restaurant Association. It's for Asian American Heritage Month. Okay. So then for the applications,
I think the recommendation was to move forward with the 5 and table the 1.
yes,
So I think it's just a vote.
just a matter of who's in agreement? Yes, move forward. Any no's? I don't know if Denise can still hear us.
I don't think so. She
Okay.
said she was gonna call back in, so I'm
Okay.
wondering if she put down
Okay.
her phone.
So then I guess we're good. Yes. Oh, there she is. Okay, so regarding the meeting on Wednesday, governance is the only subcommittee to like share.
Education has requested to be added on, so we need to make that change.
Okay,
But yeah, I think honestly, marketing and tourism asked to not meet until the state budgets more funds for marketing and tourism.
mhm,
So they have not met since last year. And then engagement has also only met once since our last commission meeting.
okay, okay. So the only thing really that we're talking about, because I know at the last meeting, we talked about the affiliate program. That's when we kind of brainstormed about some additional groups to reach out to. And then, so really it's just this new designee. That's the only thing.
Think so, and I can print out an updated affiliate list.
Do we want to share? Just thinking if we want to ask for other people's assistance in this outreach. Share where we're all not able to, we don't have the contacts or. Or we could say that there is a list and that we'll share it, you know, via email for people to look at, or what's the best?
I think, I'll be honest, I think going through at least that like first page list
Mm-hmm.
and kind of covering where we have some gaps might be the best way. Email responses are hit or miss,
Okay.
so
So this list this came out of the last meeting, I guess, right? And
yeah, that was
um,
the one at the LOB. Yep.
and I know you all are reaching out to like towns,
Mhm.
but has there been other outreach aside from this and aside from when you guys are in person with your grantees?
Not a concerted effort. We have asked existing affiliates and existing local committees to share with people in their networks that they're working with. But not a big outreach to any of these organizations or these types of organizations.
Okay. Because I'm thinking like maybe the Connecticut Nonprofit Alliance, like how do we get to more groups? that, you know, are not museums and historical societies, as much as we know, like they'll be on board in order to get kind of further into communities. And groups. You know, people who are not museum goers. I mean, that's like the majority of people, right? Like, really? So, I don't know. Maybe we could.
Yeah, I mean, I think education will still be a big part of this. And there are curriculum materials that will be shared. Steve will be presenting on an idea to engage students in schools on research on their towns related to the 250th. And I think that there will be at least one, youth engagement, and two, like engagement with families through that work, I think. But I do agree that there needs to be more other types of nonprofits. I think I'll add in here another list, which is some youth serving organizations, like YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, some of those. Yeah, Michael.
I will also add an organization, which is Connecticut has many beautiful drum and fife corps nonprofit organizations, so perfectly aligned to celebrate America 250. In my hometown in East Haddam / Moodus, there's an annual like Thunder in the Valley, they call it, and like they all come in their different costumes and they march up and down, and it's wild, wild.
When is that? I want to go.
It's in October last time
Okay.
I checked. But as I just Google search Connecticut Fife and Drum Corps, like a whole bunch of different ones pop up, and I'm looking, and they're nonprofits. They're a bunch of .orgs, and it just feels like we should certainly include them in our outreach. I don't know if they have like a master association, so we don't have to like try to piecemeal find them all out. But if there is one main group, we should hit them up and then see if they can help us with the outreach. But there's definitely a number of them, and that they would be great to include, I believe.
Yeah.
You could also think about libraries not only as affiliates themselves, but as a way to connect with others. So they all have community newsletters that they send out, and bulletin boards and things like that. So a flyer that's posted in the libraries that's looking for organizations to contact us and learn more could be good too.
Could we create like a little blurb with logo and send it to all the libraries and ask them to like include that in their next newsletter or include it on their website, or like wherever they think would be most helpful? But like if we provide them with content, it might be easier.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend.
And when I say we, is that who could do that?
I think we probably mean Margaret, but we can totally, we can volunteer Margaret. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll be happy too. She's
I'm sure she will be, exactly.
always happy.
What happens when you're not in the meetings? You get assigned work to do.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, I'm wondering if maybe we try and like flesh out that first page more, or do you think it's okay as is?
I'm looking, I'm not ignoring, I promise. Yeah, we can work on fleshing it out a little more, at the very least can add in some of these other categories that are in rows down below. Um, So I added the Drum and Fife Corps, the Connecticut Nonprofit Alliance, Chambers of Commerce, Bar Associations. I feel like religious organizations, I can add that as a category, but it's so much more niche, I feel like. I can't think of, or I assume not one person would kind of be like, oh yeah, I've touched base with lots and lots of different religious
I
religious.
mean, we do.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not, I'm not, I don't want to say like, we certainly have relationships with many, but not all. We know Connect very well. FaithX, somewhat, and then certain individual entities. So I wouldn't want to like take it on fully if other people have better relationships.
Lodging.
Connect, I think, is only New Haven and Fairfield counties. I don't really know that there is any other kind of broad organization and for the other areas of the state.
I did lodging association, thinking similar to restaurants. Ideally, this is an opportunity for tourism. I don't think we've reached out to the Connecticut Beer Guild, I think they're called, or there's the group for distillers as well. And I do think, I know I've heard people say it would be fun to do kind of themed beers that year. I'm trying to think of what some of the others folks are, like who people have mentioned. Oh, it would be fun if blah 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 blah. Theaters could be another one. I haven't seen many theaters come through as affiliates. There are a couple. And I know there are theaters on local committees.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But I can also do, we have our in-staff check-in tomorrow, and I can share this list and see if people have other ideas.
Are there like agriculturally speaking, like farmer, just thinking about getting like more out to the rural areas? Yeah, 4-H.
There are, I forget what there are, but UConn has a bunch of like offshoots. They're not campuses, but they do agriculture throughout the state. Can't remember what they're called, but Amherst would know.
Okay.
And I think we initially thought about, and then Nick's tabling at ag fairs across the state. And the nixing was really just a capacity. There are so many of them, there was no way we could be there, and there really weren't people interested in doing it.
Yeah.
As volunteers. But it could be a possibility.
But if we could partner with like a 4-H or someone like that who was going to already be at these fairs, maybe they would just take the handout and kind of have it there for us.
What about the Department of Agriculture? They might have some connection. I don't know if they're formally a part of our group, but there's certainly all sorts of community supported agriculture projects that they do, all kinds of fundings that they do. I'm sure they have a list of different farmers, and you know, many of them have been around for multiple generations. So that's a good, I support that concept. Maybe we need to reach out to DOAG.
Yeah, I don't know anybody.
Commissioner Hurlbut, what's up?
Maybe our new governor's appointed person could help with that.
Delegation, we love it.
I think I made it possible for you all to edit this, so if you do think of anything else, I think you should be able to go in, but if not, if anything pops into your mind tonight or something, feel free to send an email and we'll add it to the list for discussion on Wednesday.
Okay. Great. Does anybody have anything else either related to the Wednesday meeting or anything else? All right. Then I guess, I'll be there on Wednesday. I think the secretary has to be somewhere else, as far as I know, but be there. So hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'll see you at the next one, Michael.